I think the funniest thing about the Ghost of Yotei situation is that it has gotten way more heat than compared to Ghost of Tsushima, and it's kind of crazy because Ghost of Tsushima is well beloved. I mean, the developers became even ambassadors of the island that's based off of, and Ghost of Yotei has been getting so much crap. So let's get into it. I know I saw a little bit about the developer of it back on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it, but this developer just ruined their life and it's completely deserved by Rev Says Desu. Let's get into it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So there's been a lot of discussion and drama involving the recent release of Ghost of Yotei. Now, oddly enough, every viral post talking about this game is mainly coming from shills, but it's not sharing gameplay or the story. Rather, they're making posts coping about this game's release or even trying to provide misdirections and straw men to say that things like misogyny and sexism are the reason why this game's not selling more copies. So we have a lot of things to discuss
Nah, well, I do think there's a little bit, like a very, very little bit, but that's not why, honestly.
in today's video, but let's start off with an update about this Ghost of Yotei dev named Drew. We talked about them over the past couple of weeks. They immediately came out after the assassination of Charlie Kirk and shared posts on Blue Sky celebrating
Oh yeah, I think I saw Terrorizer Nogla react to either it was them or Jack Morgan. Like they talked about him for a bit. I'm surprised he's the developer of Ghost of Yotei. Is he? Do they have different developers for Ghost of Tsushima? Let me look this up. It just says the developer is Sucker Punch, which I understand, but so I'm guessing Drew is the writer and they had someone else. Mm.
his assassination and even glorifying political violence generally. And then they would proceed to double down, saying they've been noticed by Twitter. And then they would, I guess, triple down shortly after that, saying if they lose their dream job over this, they would do it again 100 times stronger.
Why? Why would you do that? That's so stupid, honestly. In this day and age, unless you can easily get another job in this day and age, you do not want to lose your job. Like in this economy, in this job market, nah, it's honestly kind of dumb. Like, just keep your thoughts to yourself. Like, honestly, just keep them to yourself, and that's it.
And then, well, they found out they were fired by Sucker Punch. And then we would get some explanation from the co founder of Sucker Punch, where they made this
Oh,
very bold statement where they said Drew's no longer employed there and that they think they're aligned as a studio, that making fun of or celebrating someone's murder is a deal breaker, and that they condemn it, kind of, and that's sort of their studio, and that's kind of where they are. Amazing stuff from them. But now we have an update. They have once again changed around their bio a little bit on Blue Sky, but they made this post right here talking about the release of Ghost of Yotei, saying this. As it turns out, my joke didn't make the game any worse.
before I let Rev continue, something that I just want to point out, and it's kind of just sad that it's came to this, is that Nazi as a term has been watered down so much. Like, it's the same thing as like the term pedophile. Like those two terms, like they held like how do I say it? They held they were more God, what how am I how do I say this? They held more threat, basically. More threat back in the day, back before back before the internet became a thing. Like they held more threat. Like when you hear those words you get scared of them. Nowadays, they're just watered down terms. Like it's gotten to the point where they're like elementary school insults. Like like elementary schools will call each other that, but it's just kind of sad that those terms have lost their threat level to them.
My firing didn't make the game any better, so really the only thing that the harassment campaign succeeded in was sucking all the joy out of my life, so I guess that's a W. Yeah, Rip Bozo. Sorry that somehow you mocking the assassination of Charlie Kirk and praising political violence got you criticism, not a harassment campaign, criticism. This person has now turned themselves into the victim, but some people are not going to allow this person to continue playing this role of the victim, and that person is Asmongold, who has been on this person since they made their first post following the assassination, and he is once again making it very clear after this latest update that he is going to follow this individual wherever they go in the gaming industry and make sure that she continues to find out.
I made a video about them, and it turns out that they got fired.
Dang.
They got fired from their job.
I mean, it's their own fault at the end of the day. Like, do they not understand that nowadays, like, employers will, one of the things they do look at is that social media posts, like your image on social media. Like, just keep the fucking thoughts to yourself. Like, it's just, it's dumb. But honestly, if it means we get better games, then hey, I mean, I don't want to sound like mean, but yeah.
Too bad, huh? Wow. What a shame for you. And also, here's the important thing, okay? I want to make sure that people remember this, is that eventually you'll get a new job. And when you do, I might just make another video and contact that employer too.
Oh shit.
Now, why would I do that? For fun. I enjoy it. I like it. It's a nice pastime for me. F 'em. That's why. Yeah, make an example about him. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And yeah, it turns out that my joke didn't make the game do any worse. How do you know that? Like, what a stupid comment to make. How do you know that it didn't make the game do worse whenever you don't have a use case and a control group for the game not doing worse?
Play stupid games.
It's honestly kind of also because I never seen that much Ghost of Yotei talk. Well, I wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't chronically online back in 2020. I was just enjoying games and doing college, but I didn't see really that much talk about Ghost of Yotei compared to Tsushima. Like,
Win stupid prizes. I mean, what happened to consequence culture? I think this is very fair. I don't think anybody should want someone like that in the gaming industry, right? It is ridiculous that we have to put up with these people who will gladly celebrate the deaths of people over political differences. And I'm glad he's so on board with keeping up with these people because chances are, I'm very confident they are going to get another job in the gaming industry. We've seen this happen before. There is absolutely no shame. These people are celebrated amongst many of their peers in the industry. So now let's return to Ghost of Yotei and its release. Like I said earlier in the video, there's a very weird phenomenon going on Twitter where there's viral tweets talking about this game, but they're not celebrating the gameplay or the story, and they're made by the shills and the supporters of it. So what are they talking about? Well, they're talking about a bunch of very weird things that really have nothing to do with anything, and they're really just creating straw men to complain about. And to clarify right here as well, it has been reported that they have cleared 2 million sales in these first couple of days since the release, which is not too surprising. A lot of people are mocking the boycotting of this game because of various things members of their team have said, but nobody ever came out and said this game wasn't going to sell millions of copies. It is following up Ghost of Tsushima, which sold, I believe, like 13 million copies. This game was destined for
13 million? Damn, it did better than expected. Good on Ghost of Tsushima since I fucking love that game. I might go back to it and actually redo it.
success. And the game itself is well liked by most people. Some people think it's boring, some people enjoy it, but it has enough gas in the tank to make millions of sales. But of course, what are people featuring? Scenery. Cooking. Like this person saying it's a 10 out of 10. And they can cook and flip it and move it so it doesn't burn. Wow, such gameplay.
I saw a tweet saying the graphics look good better. Now I haven't bought the game yet. I'll probably get it when it's on sale, but just to see how it is, but honestly, it looks kind of worse. Like in cutting grass, like seeing grass cut isn't really an improvement. Like games have gotten the realism in graphics with in gaming has gotten to a point where you can't really go any further, so they have to do these little weird things to make it stand out. But I don't know, it just didn't really it doesn't really look better compared to Tsushima. I'd argue it looks a little worse.
And also, apparently, foxes will cheer you on as you cut bamboo. Amazing stuff. It reminds you of Assassin's Creed, doesn't it? Where it seems like they would promote
Oh
everything
god.
but the actual gameplay and story. And oddly enough, they're one of the first ones to congratulate the official release of this game. And it's just kind of ironic to see that interaction. But another focus of a lot of the drama has been, of course, Erika Ishii, who is the
I
person
have seen a bit
behind the
about
main
this.
protagonist and also a proud member of Antifa. Yes, a designated domestic terrorist organization, because apparently in the gaming industry, you can be a member of a terrorist organization and they will not punish you. Amazing stuff. Totally not a ridiculous thing to happen, but there's been discussions, again, about the design of her character, obviously inspired by her, and people are criticizing it and making fun of it as well. And it sparked another debate about appealing character designs. It must be like the 100th time in the
Oh
last
my
year this has
god.
happened. But there was this tweet saying maybe we owe Ubisoft an apology, showing Naoe from Assassin's Creed Shadows versus, of course, Ghost of Yotei. But I don't think anyone was ever complaining about Naoe from Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think she has an appealing model.
No, it's more of Yasuke and how it should have been just a Japanese dude. Like, if it's set in Japan, have it be a Japanese dude. That's what people have been wanting for years. And I'm not even into Assassin's Creed, but like seeing all the interest, I always thought like a Japanese setting could be cool, but they fumbled it hard. They fumbled it way hard.
Is just the gameplay and the story and the other controversies surrounding the team at Ubisoft that was the issue with that game. But the quote here is what's really sending me. It's a Twitter coded post. I'm going to use their language. They say everything is coded. This is a Twitter coded post right here because nobody, not even a genuine misogynist, could come up with something like this. So the progressive person right here says this. Oh no, my Asian woman looks like an Asian woman instead of a sex doll. Let's just call this person the CEO of misogyny. This is amazing. So, number one, they're implying, based on the context, that Asian women, when they look like how they're supposed to, are ugly. And then the second part implies that if a woman is attractive, she is nothing more than a sex doll. Like I said, a genuine misogynist couldn't come up with a post like this, getting 2 jabs in one short sentence. It's actually impressive how insane these people are. But Asmongold makes another appearance in this video because he recently talked about some other Naughty Dog drama, and he was looking at Intergalactic, and he came up with a theory, a good tool, if you will, to really address anyone, but women in particular, when they're trying to praise ugly female character designs.
There is no audience benefit to having an ugly female protagonist. I'm sorry. There's not. Nobody wants it. Nobody advocates for it. And if you think that's not true, go ahead and next time you see one of the girls that are talking about how good these characters look, give them a compliment and tell them that they look like this character. You'll see them switch up real quick. You'll get blocked.
Running error of grief.
Oh, yeah.
We know that the studio will be taking on the sci-fi realm next with Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet.
You look like Lizzo, yeah, the Lizzo thing, yeah, exactly. Lizzo's so beautiful. Okay, well, you look like Lizzo. What the wrong with you? Exactly. No, I don't. Why? What's bad about that? I thought she was beautiful.
It's super effective. Yeah, this is a really good one. If you have a little tool belt that helps you point out people's hypocrisy on social media, an old one we used all the time on this channel was, your likes are public, right? Because back in the day, Twitter likes were public, and especially in scenarios where people were complaining about types of fictional content, you would almost always find that type of fictional content in
Side tangent. I honestly kind of hope likes come back. Like, I miss Rev's segment on Your Likes Are Public. And I remember, I think Chibi made a tweet, and he said, if likes were public for one day, how would you react? And then I said, my favorite segment will return. And because I've been watching Rev for quite a while, it's just like these past year or so, I've just been really busy, like really busy with looking for working out, actually having, excuse me, actually now having a, dang, excuse me again, actually now having a job. Oh my God, these hiccups. But to add on to the ugly girl um debate, like here's the here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Sex sells. Like hot women, you put a hot babe on there, people are gonna buy it. Like that's gonna get people's attention on it. It's like for me when I was younger in like Konosuba, like I thought the girls were very pretty. That's how I got into the series and its funny moments. And now, honestly, like I like I like Kazuma a lot more. I mean, Megumin's still the best girl, but Kazuma's my boy. I want him to win.
their likes. It was very,
It's just that they don't really realize that sex sells. Like that's how you're gonna get your product moving.
very effective, but of course, it's outdated because Twitter likes are now private. But if you want a replacement, if you want to fill in that socket on the old tool belt, this is a great one right here. Yes, they will get very upset. You will catch a block, and it is a very effective tool to say the least. But what he's saying is not wrong. There have been studies and reports to show that people favor these appealing character designs. And I always go back to this poll by Mark Tyminski, who is the creator of Lords of the Fallen. He came up with this poll. He's made many polls where he's asking gamers for their opinion on things, and he takes it into heart for his own games, and he also just kind of gets a general sense of what people are thinking across the board. And this question, with 11,000 votes, basically asks, should lead video game characters be widely considered attractive / aspirational by the vast majority of players? And
I agree.
84.4% of people said yes. Only 2.5% said no, and 13.1% said they don't care. So if you're making unappealing character designs, you are at best maybe getting 15% of people's interest, because these people don't care one way or another. So you're really just appealing to these two demographics. This is your choice right here. Either you go with the 2.5% who don't want that, or you go with the 84.4% who do want attractive and aspirational character designs. It's literally a no-brainer, and yet every day on Twitter, you see another viral post complaining about this sort of dynamic and saying that people are sexist for wanting attractive or appealing character designs, and they would all
It's not sexism. It's escapism more like it.
also say stuff like women would never want any of this sort of stuff. It's
I call bullshit on that. There are a lot of porny women out there. I call complete bullshit on that.
total BS if you're asking me. But of course, it doesn't end there. Here's another post that got a lot of attention, almost 3 million views, where this individual says, if you can't stand women in video games, this year sure sucked for you. I mean, I like how they snuck in characters that literally nobody had a problem with. I mean, they even put in hornets. Can you guys point to a single post where people were complaining about Silksong because Hornet was the lead character? What are we talking about? Literally nobody did that. It's absolutely insane to lump characters like that into this discussion. But again, this is very easy to understand if you have a brain, right? It's not just the characters and how they are presented in terms of just being a female lead. It's if they are appealing and if they're well-written characters and if the story's well-written.
Exactly.
I mean, if you would follow this logic, then Stellar Blade would have flopped. it would have flopped because people would have been like, oh, I don't want a main protagonist who's a woman. Oh, I won't. I hate this. No. And then look at things like the gacha industry, right? What is the most bottom line selling point of the entire thing? It's selling cute anime girls, right? Of course, there's some that focus on male characters, but the majority of gacha games out there, they focus on selling people attractive female characters, including those in lead positions or lead roles in the games. And it's just like, I don't know what we're talking about anymore. It's just so much intellectual dishonesty, you know? And then you see quotes like this from people who've been shilling really every game that falls into these positions of Ghost of Yotei or Assassin's Creed Shadows, saying, I genuinely feel bad for anyone that refuses to play video games with female protagonists. Y'all are missing out on some of the greatest games of the decade over nothing. I wouldn't say it's over nothing, and it's not just because there is a female lead of Ghost of Yotei, it's because people don't want to support a game and a company that has people who are not only celebrating political violence, but are openly saying they are a part of a designated domestic terrorist organization. That is a no-no.
And there have been female protagonists for years now. Even before this whole debate thing, there have been female protagonists for years now. Like, it wasn't a problem back then. And the only reason it's a problem now is because A, they're not attractive, and B, they're also probably poorly written. That's about it. Like, recently I took I don't really want to say like I took Rev's advice, or well, pretty much I did, because he made like a little like analogy like years ago when I was watching him. He said the reason I chose a female VTuber is because I wanted, and I play as female characters. It's because I rather stare at a female's ass all while playing than a man's. But recently, like with Xenoblade Chronicles X and uh Romancing Saga 2, I've been playing them as more. I've been using more as the female protagonists because honestly, they just look way better than the males. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I remember when I was creating my character for Xenoblade X, and I was gonna originally pick a male avatar, and I'm like, most of these look kind of shit, honestly. Like, and then I look at the females, I'm like, dang, let's go for it.
For a lot of people. A lot of people saw that and said, that's all I need to know.
They don't even need massive mahunga junga boobs. They a little butt, but but yeah, they need to look somewhat appealing. Like, let me say, let me try to find the full image. All right, where we're at 1424. Aside from maybe, I'm trying to see, like in my personal opinion, like I think maybe just the Ghost of Yotei one, and this is no shame to anyone that looks like this in real life, but like I would never judge a real person's like appearance and anything like that. It's just in game, like we just want escapism. That's bad. And maybe this one. That's about it. The other ones look really fine to me. It's just probably like how they're written and all that.
A game and a
I just got Hollow Knight recently, so I need to give it a chance.
company that has people who are not only celebrating political violence, but are openly saying they are a part of a designated domestic terrorist organization. That is a no-no for a lot of people. A lot of people saw that and said, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. And honestly, with the pressure put on Erika Ishii, if she was a smaller part of Sucker Punch, I think they would have fired her. They would have been pressured into it, just like they did with that Drew person. But because she is the face of the game, they wouldn't do it. They know they would have hurt their sales, so instead, they didn't do it. But that is why people are upset with this game. It's not because there is a female protagonist. It's so much cope. But here's a quote from Tectone on that latest post saying, y'all are looking for misogyny where it doesn't exist. People like female leads and female characters. What people don't like is poorly written female characters, the forced uglification of female characters, the yes girl boss characters. It's annoying, it's irritating, and it's worst of all, it's beyond immersion breaking. That's really all you got to say about this. Ghost of Yotei, again, like I said, is going to sell millions of copies. It'll probably be a financial success. But the question is, how much did they lose out on by having these psychos in their employment? Some former, some current. At the end of the day, if it costs hundreds of copies or thousands of copies being sold, it's still a dent into something, and it was completely unnecessary to have people like this trying to do their best to bring negative PR to games like this. And the reaction on social media, instead of praising what these shills are claiming to enjoy so much, to then just make posts creating straw men and blaming misogyny is just pure copium. And like, they don't even have to do it. Like, the game is going to be fine in terms of sales, but they're still coping and they're still trying to find misdirections. It's just very weird. It's a very defensive and weird reaction. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section.
All right, like honestly, like the reception to Ghost of Yotei compared to Tsushima is like a whole 180. Because, like I said earlier, the developers of Ghost of Tsushima became ambassadors of the very island. Like, even like Japanese say, wow, they written a Japanese game better than Japanese. Like, that's why I greatly respect Ghost of Tsushima. And now Ghost of Yotei, like with all the controversy and everything, it just kind of put put me off from buying the game as quicker as I normally would. And also, like, I've been toning down on buying games. Really, I just buy whatever Nintendo game they release every month. Let's see. All right, this one's about Silksong. I've been saying ever since Silksong released that is proof that a female protagonist is not a problem. No, it's not at all. Nor do they need to be sexy to be appealing. I agree also with that also. It just you sell them on the design and you add a great personality and story afterwards. Hornet is just a little bug. Her design is aesthetically appealing and the game never makes a big deal out of her being female. She's very strong, but we have good reason in the story for why that is the case. And it's not as if Team Cherry replaced the old main character fans wanted Hornet to be playable this. Oh, was Hornet a character in the first game? I don't know. I'm glad Silk Song's finally out, but I never played. I just recently got like Hollow Knight. Like I found a physical at GameStop, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get this to be playable. And this is what this was always the plan. So it's really silly for these clowns to use Hornet as an example for their argument because it's the biggest thing. It's like the new biggest thing. Like Silk Song's a big thing, and and they're just using it just because they can. Because she is literally the perfect example of a female protagonist done right and shatters her narrative. That's a good comment, honestly. Let's see. Hot babes are an extremely hot babes are an extremely strong factor to a game's appeal if one is present. Conversely, the thought of having to look at a meh or should have ugly character for how many hours you expect to play the game can really take away appeal. It's just common sense. Nobody wants to stare at ugly for hours, but are happy with staring at beautiful for hours. Yeah, like I said with my Xenoblade, like honestly, like staring at my characters, like dang, I really went. I'll show a picture of my, I'll show a picture of my avatar because the main character is just an avatar in the game, but go check out Xenoblade Chronicles X if you haven't, because my god, it's a good game. Let's see. Let's find one more. This one will be nice. I don't care if a female is in the game. I care if the reasoning used to put that female there was that it's for the purpose of it being not male. I don't like sexist and they act sexist while saying they're not sexist because they manipulate a definition so to exclude their behavior as sexist. If the purpose for you doing something is because you don't like men, then I don't like you and I don't want to pay your bills. That's a good comment. Also, like, sexist has become a term that has been kind of watered down, honestly, not to the extent like Nazi and PDF file, but yeah, just wanted to add it in there. But that was a good video, Rev. Like, go check out Rev if you haven't. But anyways, like I said, I'll probably get Ghost of Yotei once it's on sale for like at least like below $30. Like, I'm in no rush to get it, so I don't know. Kind of a shame since I bought Ghost of Tsushima day one. But yep, that's going to be it.